Hi guys, it's Stan and welcome to my first album review. So today is Iron Maiden No Prayer for the Dying. So I'm going to do all the Iron Maiden albums, but I'm going to do them in a little bit of a different order to the way other reviewers have done it. So instead of going from Iron Maiden to Final Frontier, I'm going to rate them in how I like them. So I'm going to do the worst album to the best album. So of course, if we're doing the worst album, we're going to start at No Prayer for the Dying. So I myself find this a fairly enjoyable album, in my opinion. The production is virtually non-existent, but in my opinion, it's not as bad as people make out. So this is the enhanced CD, so that could make a bit of a difference to the sound, but it doesn't really change it an awful lot. So, in total, this album is not a bit hit and miss. So, unbelievably, it got to number 2 in the charts, but that would have been because its predecessor, Seventh Son, was such a great album, and that got to number 1, which would have been the only reason people actually bought No Prayer. But anyway, onto the artwork. It's by Derek Riggs, and it's one of the last pieces by Derek Riggs, and they were trying to do a throwback to Eddie and, say, Killers and Iron Maiden. Well, it didn't quite work out, and sometimes you see a guy here being, grabbed, and he's coming out of a tomb. But anyway, let's get on to the music. So the first track is one of the best tracks off the album, in my opinion. It's called Tail Gunner, and I'll just play it to you quickly. Not all of it, but... So it's quite a raw track. Nice opening. But hey, it's about a tail gunner, and it's about how there are no more bombers and there's just one plane with one bomb, and that was the plane Enola Gay, and it dropped the first atomic bomb on Hiroshima. So it's all about bombers and stuff like that. So the first track, Tail Gunner, is one of the best tracks off the album in my opinion. But the second track, in my opinion, is the real gem of this album, and it's called Holy Smoke. The opening riff is brilliant. And it's quite a short track, doesn't mess about with any instrumental bits really, or any intros or outros. It's a really nice track. It's quite raw, but it's a nice track. Nice. It should have, in my opinion, be the opening tune, but Tail Gun works as well for that bit. So the third track is the title track, No Prayer for the Dying, and yeah, and it's a good track, but it's just a generic track really. Doesn't really make me want to... When I first listened to this track, it didn't make me want to come and buy this CD. I bought it anyway because I had 13 CDs. It's only got Fear of the Dark, but I only bought it because, hey, Bruce's voice, he's not convincing on this album and Fear of the Dark. He's not the old Bruce off of Power Slave. He's lost a bit of his confidence because he's not interested that much anymore. So it's a bit of a waste of time, some of these tracks really. They may as well just wait for him and get him a good idea. Get him going. This is track 4, Public Enema number 1. Some good solos, but again, the production, as with all the tracks on this album, is mediocre. The chorus is good. Let me just find it. This is the chorus, but other than that, it's a mediocre track. Don't like it. Track 5, Fate's Warning. Yeah, here we go, sorry. Bits didn't play. It's a nice relaxed track, but again, lacks production, lacks conviction from Bruce. I have nothing to say about it really, so if you want to find out how terrible it is, go and listen to it yourself. Like I said before, I do enjoy listening to this album because it's fairly easy to listen to. But if you want to hear proper Iron Maiden, this isn't the album for that. Track 6, The Assassin. This is the only good bit of the song, the opening, the good guitar work, bass. But this is the chorus. Really cheesy, terrible production. Worst track off this album, potentially the worst track Maiden have ever recorded. But there's still a debate between this track and Angel and the Gambler, and maybe one of the X Factor. Track 7, good lyrics, it's called Run Silent, Run Deep. It's about German U-boats and stuff like that, so running silent, running deep. Nice opening. And this is one of the last decent tracks off the album. Because the first two are good, Run Silent, Run Deep. It's above the norm for this album. Hooks and You, the next one's good. But I'll get to that in a sec. So this bit's good, and I really like it. But after a while it just gets a bit repetitive. And it's not brilliant in my opinion. The next track is one I quite like, called Hooks and You. It's the third track in the Charlotte saga. Some nice riffs and solos in it and stuff like that. Bruce's voice is alright on this one for this album. There's a reference to Charlotte. I got the keys to the wheel number 22. And I really like the chorus. Let me just find it. It's just after this bit here. That's the chorus. And that is the last decent track off the album. So track 9 is the extremely overrated Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. So this was originally written by Bruce for Nightmare on Elm Street. And it got to number 1 on the singles chart. And it's just a really jokey Maiden song. So I'll skip the intro because that's boring. Let me just find... The solo's good, this bit. But other than that, it's a mediocre, lackluster track. Overrated, should have never got to number 1. Bit of a joke. If any of you disagree with me, please comment. And the last track, Mother Russia. It's not bad, but I cannot say that it's good. And you can imagine Russian troops marching to it. But if you want to find out about this track, just listen to it, because I won't have the energy to explain how awful it is. So on the whole, this album, it's definitely Maiden's worst album. The production, they recorded it in Steve Harris's barn. Some decent tracks, Tail Gunner, Holy Smoke, Hooks and You, Public Enema number 1, potentially. But on the whole, the tracks are lackluster, underproduced. And don't get me wrong, I love some of the choruses, the catchiness of the album. It's a good ideas album. So if you want to hear some good Maiden ideas and stuff like that, great one. Great for that. But on the whole, not good. So I'm going to rate it 5 out of 10. And thanks for watching. If you want me to review a specific band, once I've done Maiden, all their albums, please pop it in the comments below. Specific band, specific album, and I'll do it for you. So see you guys. Please like, subscribe, all that stuff. Cheers.